Do you remember what March 2020 looked like? March the 11th for me was when everything changed, and everything about my life changed, everything about my world changed, everything about my work changed, everything about my family changed, everything about my meals changed, everything about my sleep changed, everything. It just kind of changed. And we've been thinking a lot about what is reintegration going to be looking like in the next few weeks, like next few months, as vaccines begin to roll out and we begin to reintegrate back into work. What is that going to look like? And maybe most importantly, like, what's the plan? Like, how do you even begin to frame up what reintegration is going to look like? And what is that going to mean for you? What is it going to mean for your business? What is it going to mean for your leaders? What's it going to mean for your employees? Just like, what's it going to mean overall? And over the last couple of weeks, we have developed what we call the 4R model of reintegration. I want to just really briefly share a little bit about that. The 4 R's stand for reset, restart, recalibrate, and reinvent. So when we think about reset, in March 2020, we had to reset the way that we did work. And we're going to have to do the same exact thing when we get back to work. We're going to have to reset expectations. We're going to have to reset the culture. We're going to have to reset our expectations for what work is going to be like. And probably most importantly, we're going to need to reset not just how much work gets done, but how that work gets done. We're going to have to really think about our culture and what's going to drive the values of our culture and how that's going to be embodied from a leadership perspective and an employee engagement perspective and a capacity perspective and a stress perspective. When we think about a reset, these are the things that need to happen before we even get back into the workplace. The plan for what it's going to look like for people to reintegrate, the processes that we might use. What teams will we bring back first? Do we bring everybody back? Do we bring back folks in waves? Restarting is about what people need. What people need when they get back into the office, not just the technology or the physical stuff, but also the social and the cultural stuff. You know, some people are going to be really sad. They're going to leave family at home. For the last year or so, they've been at home with their kids, with their spouses, with their partners. They've been sharing dining room tables with their families. For other people, they're going to be euphoric that they're back. They didn't have anybody over the last couple of months, and they cannot wait to get back. They're overjoyed to be back in the workplace. But restarting is about thinking through all of those variables, thinking through and using the momentum that we've got, that we have coming in from the reset, to restart our organization and to restart our culture in a really intentional and a really meaningful way. Recalibrating is about looking at the market conditions, looking at how things have changed. You know, there are entire industries that maybe no longer exist or that flourished during 2020 because they were ready to pivot and make the change. You know, as we think about recalibrating, we need to recalibrate our expectations. We need to recalibrate how we do our business, what our relationships look like, how we build community, what does stress look like, what does capacity look like, what does engagement look like, and we need to recalibrate how we see, how we experience, and how we lead and do those things. Reinventing is all about taking the successes from 2020 and building on those in 2021. So reinventing the way that we see our business and our culture and do our business, and the ways in which we have relationships with people at work. You know, over the next couple of months, it's going to be so important to engage our employees, to think about well-being, to think about health, to think about physical and emotional safety, and making sure that people feel a part of a community. You know, the research that we developed at the University of Louisville was really clear that community and feeling a part of something that is meaningful and that has value, when we feel like we're valued, we engage in those situations. And if you're looking for tools for the reintegration, I hope that you'll consider using the 4R model of reintegration to just as a template or as a strategic planning document, or as a way to begin to think about what is the reset going to look like, what is the restart going to feel like, how do we reinvent, recalibrate, what expectations need to change. But if you're looking for data-driven decision-making tools, I hope that you'll reach out to me or my colleagues at Unitonomy to talk about how we can help you leverage data on an everyday basis, on an every week basis, to get a pulse and to think about how this reintegration is going to help. And there's no doubt about it. The research is clear about this. Culture starts here. What's your plan?